What's up, sisters? This is your boy, Beef, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to be looking at some of the best new mods for Baldur's Gate 3 that just got approved for console users. Players on PC have been experimenting with official mod support for over a month now, and tons of new mods have become available since then. Although patch 7 dropped on console almost 2 weeks ago, new mods have been slow to trickle through to the platform. This past week, though, Larian started approving a bunch of new mods for console enjoyers to sink their teeth into. The best way to check for new mods, at least in my experience, is to browse either the in-game mod manager or the mod IO page for the game, and to sort the mods by date published or recently added. I make sure, if you're looking for console stuff, make sure that you go in here and check the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, or the Mac box if you're looking for Mac stuff, and then sort it by recently added, and you should get the most recent things that they've published for consoles at the top here, and the older things should slowly make their way down. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right on in and look at some of the best new mods available for console. So the first mod that I want to highlight is a favorite of mine, and I think a lot of others too, and that is the Dread Overlord. This Warlock subclass is probably one of the most fleshed out new subclass mods available for the game on consoles and even on PC, so this is a great addition to get console support. The subclass focuses heavily on necromancy and even features its own quest line called the Totems of the Necromancer. So focusing so heavily on necromancy, you can see here, you get to spawn in these different skeletons, like a skeletal warlock here, this giant skeleton that has a huge scythe weapon, this Draco Lich is really cool. I haven't gotten to use this one myself because you get to this at much higher levels, but the rest of the stuff is really fun. The mod also adds a variety of new weapons and armors for you to round out your ultimate necromancer fantasy that laughs in the faces of wizards and spore druids. It's really just kind of, it's both of those classes kind of combined together on steroids, but through the lens of a warlock. It's a lot of fun. So speaking of new classes, console players can also install the Blood Mage class by Doofalicious. This class features 3 subclasses, the Blood Magus, Knight, and the Reaver. You can see all 3 of them here. Using your Constitution stat as your spellcasting modifier, the Blood Mage uses their own health to fuel their new blood magic spells. The class features support up to level 20 and pairs incredibly well with another mod that I want to mention actually here, called Become a Vampire by Yosef1. This mod allows you to become either a vampire spawn, a true vampire, or even a vampire ascendant. Being a vampire gives you access to vampire stat blocks and abilities like turning into a bat or a gaseous form, multi-attack, and biting your enemies. So what better way to fuel your blood magic than to bite your foes, spread their blood everywhere, to make yourself more powerful, and then finish them off using their own blood against them. It's a really cool combo that I am really dying to make a playthrough kind of centered around. It works really well if you do it either on a Tav or with a Starian. It's up to you, because with this mod you get potions in the tutorial chest that allow you to use this mod. And you can either spawn it in with the Cheater's Ring or just get them at the beginning of your playthrough, which is really easy and just makes it for a really fun kind of blood vampire playthrough. So next up we have another class called the Witch class, which is down here by Nuto123. This class has some obviously witchy vibes and combines mechanics and flavor of sorcerers, druids, and wizards, but through the lens of a witch, kind of in Salem, Massachusetts. You can turn into a cat, a boar, or a panther while you brew potions and cast hexes on your enemies. The class has 4 different subclasses: the Herbalist, Frost Witch, Hex Witch, and the Witchblade. Lots of witch. But they're all pretty unique and a lot of fun to play around with. So let's take a look at some of the new cosmetic mods that are available on console. We're going to start here with FearTaylor's Camp Clothes. It's made by FearTaylor, and it just adds a bunch of different camp clothes that, to the game that you can wear. For instance, you can see here there's a bunch of different ones that are being displayed on Minthara. There's a bunch of stuff here. You can see there are a few camp clothes that don't work on every body type. For instance, this one is kind of doing something a little funky here with her with the body texture. There's just a bunch of really cool options here. You can see you get Jaheira's clothes, it looks like Astarian's clothes. That looks like Halsin's outfit, actually. I'm not sure. You can see a whole bunch of things here, and you can dye them different colors and make them look different. This looks like, who is it? Karlach's outfit. You can even get, I think I saw, and they're all pretty similar in here, but they all have different, they're really great. You can kind of play around with this and see all these different ones. There's another option here. We have wings unlocked. This allows you to get a specific type of underwear, oddly enough, that you can put on your character to get either diva wings, cambion wings, fallen wings, or decayed wings. You can see here diva wings. These are the fallen wings, I think, the cambion wings, and ooh, those ones look funky. Those must be the decayed wings. Oh, these ones look really, oh, those look really cool too. I didn't notice that there were ones for specific. Yeah, you can see here, you attach them, and it says what races that they are supported by, because not all of them are supported by each of them. In fact, the short races are not supported. Probably because they're short and the wings are pretty big, and it would look a little awkward. But you get the idea. It's fun to play around with. We have another mod called Hair Unlocked, which is made by Shane H147, and it just adds a whole ton of new hairstyles to the game that you can mess around with, if that's your thing. Really cool. Ooh, this one's really funky here. It adds like this interesting headdress that the harpies wear. All sorts of cool stuff here. This is really fun. We also have Lydia's Heads, Servants of the Raven Queen, which adds a bunch of faces that are kind of inspired by the Raven Queen and kind of the Shadar Kai, which are a specific type of elves in the Forgotten Realms lore. You can see here we've also got Medusae hairs, which adds a bunch of new hairs to the game. There's all these options here: the Sophisticated Thespian, the Rebellious Aristocrat, the Young Cub. Just another option for some extra hair things to look at. Let's see. We've also got Gale's Wizardly Updo default. This one has been around for a while, but it's nice. It just kind of changes Gale's hair and makes it into an updo. We've also got Lydia's Head Seraphina. This is a great one. It's very similar to the other one, but it adds the Seraphina face, and it has compatibility for the elves, Drow, the half-elves, humans, and the tieflings. We also have things like Dreads for Will, if you want to have dreadlocks on Will and you want to change his hair up. There's NPC hairs here, which is also a really great one that adds a bunch of hairs. You can tell there's a lot of options now for changing up the way that your character looks and adding new things to it, from your hair to your face to your clothes, and even here we've got Kay's hair mod. This is another really great one. Polyamory Fixes is a classic. This one's been around, I think, for a while, or it might be new, but it's a really awesome mod if you're trying to romance everyone that you can. It just allows you to romance multiple characters without triggering jealous reactions, because pretty much every character will, not every, but the majority of them will get jealous if you try to cheat on them with someone else. But this takes that away and allows you to satisfy your desire for polyamory in Baldur's Gate. Let's see, what else do we have here? We also have, this is a really fun mod, Progressive Weapons. This one spawns in some really cool weapons that, as you can see, get stronger with you as you level up. Frosty Fists, level 3, 6, and 12. Your unarmed attacks deal an additional 4 to 7 cold damage, 4 to 9 cold damage, and 4 to 11 cold damage. Really cool. This is a really great one for like an icy monk, to have a monk weapon so that you can punch people and do cold damage that gets stronger as you level up. That way you don't have to go finding new weapons and everything. You can just kind of pick this weapon, stick to it, and just have something easy to use that is very powerful. There's other things in here, like this cool spear that does necrotic damage, this hammer, this cool dagger that does force damage and things, this bow. There's a whole bunch of options in here. There's even Zariel's sword, which is really cool. It does a whole bunch of extra radiant damage, which is a really cool weapon. Fun to play with. It has a +4. It's a legendary weapon, obviously, so it's more of an endgame thing with a +4, but really cool. This is one of the mods that's been around on the mod manager for a while. The unlock level curve, level 13 to 20. It allows you to go past level 12 up to level 20 in line with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, but there is not really enough XP in the game to get you there all vanilla. So one mod that is a really big help for there is double XP. Just doubles your XP gain and helps you kind of reach those levels faster. You could also do feats on every level. This is really just, it'll help you become very, very, very powerful very quickly. But if that's what you're kind of going for as a power fantasy, then by all means. There's also the Spellblade School. This is a really fun subclass for wizards that allows you to, it gives you a parry action, and it also gives you an ability that lets you cast a spell with your action and then use your bonus action to do a melee attack, and the melee attack then gets added elemental damage to it, so you're kind of just doing huge amounts of damage there. Really cool, fun way to play up close with a wizard. This one is D20 Initiative. This is a really great one if you are just more into traditional D&D 5th edition. So instead of having the D4 for your initiative rolls, it uses a D20. So it's very much more varied and different. The alert feat isn't quite as powerful under that as it is under the D4 rule, because a +5 is more than higher than you can roll on a single hit thing. The Cheater's Ring is a really great mod. I don't really use this for all the extra things like doing giant blasts and power word kill stuff, and mostly what I use it for is as a utility when you're already built into a run and you need to add something like, for instance, to become a vampire potion. If you're already halfway through a run and you're not on the Nautiloid anymore, you can use the Cheater's Ring to spawn in the tutorial chest and get your things there. So if any of these mods uses the tutorial chest, I highly recommend grabbing the Cheater's Ring just as a utility to be able to get that in. There's also Weightless Gold is a really great one. This one is awesome for gold is really heavy in the game, and by the time you get to Act 3, you got like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 gold, and it adds up. And if you're not playing a strength character, then good luck. So Weightless Gold is really great. So you could, see 17,000, 0 weight, easy. One of my favorite mods is the Mystic class and the Mystic expansion. I've been having a lot of fun messing around with this because it's really it's very heavy on the build crafting. You can really create any build that you want with any kind of combination of abilities that scale off of your intelligence. And you could do a monk, you can do a rogue with dual wielding soul knives, you can do a psychic mage, you can do a psychic elemental mage, you can do warrior and archer, kind of crowd control. It's really, the sky is the limit with the Mystic class. You can do really whatever you want. And it's a lot of fun. I've been having fun with it. The Mystic class is the base from Unearthed Arcana, and then Mystic Expansion adds a bunch of extra really cool abilities and 3 unique subclasses to it. The Kuo-Toa playable race is pretty fun. It gives you the option to play as a Kuo-Toa. It's a little bit funky looking, but it's also, if you're using this, you're not really expecting it to be super immersive because you are playing as a giant fish person. The Warlock The Remembrance subclass is really fun. It's kind of built around the Dark Urge, and one of the main things about this class is that it gives you access to the magical secrets list for the bards at level 5 or at level 6 and 10, I think. So it's really cool to have a Warlock that get access to that really unique spell list. There are some things that you already have crossovers from the Warlock list, like Hunger of Hadar, but that's a good reason to grab other things like Spirit Guardians or Counterspell or whatever you really want to. So Adjustable Party Limit is a really fun one to have, just because it lets you walk around with a whole crowd of enemies, or of people. You can have your whole squad with you instead of just 4. Heads up, if you are going to use that one, every time that you want to take a long rest, you have to dismiss all but 3 of your companions so that you only have a party of 4, because it won't let you rest if you have... It'll get real bugged out if you try to rest with more than 4 people. Yeah, everything else has been around here for a while. The Bag of Holding is a really great one to grab. That one really helps with holding things if you're not super concerned, or if you just want to go past Weightless Gold and just say everything is weightless now. There's some really great ones here for UI, like the Better Inventory UI. This one helps clean up your inventory and make things a little bit more... I don't really know how to describe it, but it makes things look better. There's custom dice and passive rolls, so you can change those little dice that pop up there at the bottom of your screen. Better top bar adds up some extra detail to the top bar there. Every time I load back, it goes to the top. I gotta scroll all the way to the bottom. We see here Better Dying. It helps you with your dying stuff. Better Context menu gives you extra information on your right click. Or I guess on console you wouldn't have a right click. It gives you extra content on your right stick, I think is the button there. You get Dynamic Sidebar, which adds some more data into the sidebar items. Better Containers, which just helps you kind of keep your inventory a little bit more manageable. I need to learn from that one myself because I keep my inventory a mess. And there's a whole bunch of these different dice that have been here for a while. There's some really cool ones. Really up to you. There's also a bunch of these old ones that have been here for a little while, like Faerun Colors, NPC Ice Skin, Hair Colors, Improved UI, P4 horn makeup, P4 dragon scale colors, P4 eye colors. Just add a ton of extra cosmetic options for you to customize the way your character looks. A lot of these, you are going to want to make sure that you set your graphics to high. Actually, that's not really a problem on console, is it? Now that I think about it, it's only a problem on on PC. Oh well. You know what I mean. But yeah, so that pretty much does it for all the new mods that have been added to console over the last week, 2 weeks or so, since patch 7 dropped for console users. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this as time goes on to see what new stuff comes so that I can keep track of it and let you guys know when new things pop up, because it seems like Larian is taking their time with making sure that everything is set in stone and they're being very thorough with their approval process, and it's taking a while, but it's probably for the best, because it means that things are more likely to work when they finally make it to console. Because I've had a lot of issues on PC where you'll download something that's very new and it's just like it won't work. I mean, it'll work, but there'll be like little buggy things where it just won't work properly. It won't work ideally, I guess, or there'll just be like a little graphical issue. So that's really I think the core of what Larian is trying to establish there, is just to make sure that everything works properly on their system. So if you like this video, let me know by liking the video, commenting down below, tell me which mods you are planning on using, which ones are your favorite, which ones you're really hoping come to console as quickly as possible, because there are a ton of them that are kind of in the pipeline. Just let me know. I'm really excited to hear what you guys are working with and what you guys are playing around with. It's really fun seeing what ideas you guys are able to come up with. But yeah, other than that, I will see you guys in the next video, and happy modding!